Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Albatross Funny Books. This is MegaGhost. This is by Gabe Soria and Gideon Kendall. I saw somebody online, I talked about this, and somebody online described this as the best Saturday morning cartoon that doesn't exist. And I have to agree that that is a wonderful description. I don't know if they intended for this, but this is an all-ages comic. Which I'm a big proponent of. I think comics should get back to all ages, because kids aren't reading comic books, and all ages to me just means everybody can enjoy it. Doesn't mean dumbed down for kids. There's kiddie comics, and then there's all ages comics, and they're different. So whatever. But okay, let's start at the beginning. This is Albatross Funny Books. Albatross Funny Books is a company owned by Eric Powell that he created for his comic The Goon. I don't know what happened. I think he got a little annoyed with publishing his comic under other people's banners, so he went out and did what he needed to do. He made his own banner. He made his own comic book company, so good for him. And now the Goon is selling so well that he's making enough money. He could take risk on other comics. Rising tide floats all boats. I keep saying that. So good for Eric Powell. The Goon is one of my favorite comics. The Goon is so good that I've become a fanboy of Albatross Funny Books. And when I say fanboy, I mean I get anything that this company puts out. So it sometimes it flies under the radar and I may miss, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means that I missed it. So MegaGhost, I got the first issue, and then I didn't see the other 4 issues, and I finally got the all the issues. I sat down, I read them all, and I could have picked any issue to showcase, but for some reason I picked this one. Okay, so what is the premise? The premise is okay, let's open it up and take a look. Okay, this is issue number 3. Okay, so we got MegaGhost, written by Gabe Soria, art, letters, and colors by Gideon Kendall, color assist by Julia Pepito, MegaGhost logo by Eric Roper, edited by Eric Powell and Tracy Marsh. Okay, publisher Eric Powell, El Jefe, Andrea Smith. Okay, the chief. Oh, duh. And let's look at the indicia. So this is 2018. So I bought this. It sat on my to-read pile forever. So I've been going through my to-read pile and getting a bunch of stuff that I've forgotten about. So here you go. And I try to read 5 comic books a day. I'm trying to speed up how much to reduce. I got 22 long boxes of comics that I haven't read yet. So, forgive me. All right. Now, I normally don't show showcasing comics 5 years old, but this one just makes the list. So there you go. So I will be showcasing this one. All right, so here we got a splash page. Look at that splash page. As far as I'm concerned, it's a wonderful splash page. We got all of these, I forget what he calls them, but die MegaGhost, die. Keep going. We've got MegaGhost on the roof. So that's MegaGhost. What is MegaGhost? The only way to describe MegaGhost, give it anybody a bit of justice, it's like a kaiju ghost. So it's a gigantic ghost monster. Okay, and it's getting defeated by these things. So look at this. It's just getting beaten by all of these like skeletal with laser swords. And who's this? This is the main character. And now you're gonna laugh because I forgot his name. And he's a little boy. He has this ring. He wears this ring, and it's cursed. He wears it on his finger. He can't remove it. And, okay. Well, it's on the next page. So MegaGhost is getting defeated, and he's going, call them. And he's like, no, I don't want to call them. And 2 weeks earlier at Sorcerer Sam. So this is Dunwitch Village. So it's, hearkening to H.P. Lovecraft, which is something H.P. Lovecraft, for those of you who do not know, was an old-timey writer. He wrote horror, and I think he died in like 1939. So from like 1910 to 1939, he wrote stories. And it started off just writing regular horror stories, and inspired by Ambrose Bierce and Edgar Allan Poe. And then he evolved into like cosmic horror, meaning horror from beyond time and space that human beings can't comprehend. So we went past like grave robbers and vampires into like primordial multi-dimensional gods. And I know, and one of his settings was Dunwich. Okay, focus. So now we're in this town of Dunwich, and this is his sister, and these three, like, we want to help. We want to help. We want to help MegaGhost. And he's like, no, he's kind of arrogant. Okay. So he goes, aren't you kind of smug? Aren't you complacent? And he goes, not while I have the mark of the ghost. So he has this ring. And he's like, I like this. They're like, everybody, there's a one-eyed octopus attacking the bridge downtown. So like this town is just like a nexus of horrible supernatural events. And he's running around and he's like, so these like ghost-like beings that attend him, like Martin Magus, that's his name. I knew if I waited long enough, it would tell me. So York, Balthasar, Elsa. So these are the three like beings that assist him. It's like, we need to call MegaGhost. It's like, ladies, sit tight, drink your milkshakes, and we'll handle it. And they're like, handle it. So the MegaGhost is showing up, and what happens is excuse us, MegaGhost. We want a piece of the action. So it's a frog, a bat, and a black cat. And look at that. And it scratches its eye. They attack, and it goes running away. Because you defeated the Cycloptopus. Now you must face me. Who are you? Hold on, MegaGhost. We're the familiars. We're not allies, we're enemies. We're allies, not enemies. The familiars, I've never heard of you. And then like, oh yeah? So what do? They take off their costumes. You know, these are like robotic. Okay, so in case you couldn't tell, they're the pilots, so they're kind of like magical, what is that word? Mechs. And it's his sister and the two friends, and he's explaining how they got their powers. In issue 2, they found like a scientist wizard who was able to take like ectoplasmic and magic energy, put batteries in them. So they took some of the leftover batteries and made magical mech suits, and now they call themselves the Familiars. And we want to help you. And he's like, no, and he's being prideful. And who's this? This is the bad guy that actually did that stuff. And he's like, I sent the Cycloptopus out there. And he's like, no, it wasn't him. It was the Familiars defeated him. He's like, what? He goes, and then they bickered, and then they fought. And he's like, maybe I could turn them against each other. So So now, they're talking about the exploits of MegaGhost, fighting a giant werewolf. Then the Familiars are fighting this ant creature. And they're having a contest who could be the greater hero, rather than work together, because brothers and sisters are always feuding. And, he's talking about the curse of the ring. He's like, maybe you should get along. He's like, I'm not going to get along. And MegaGhost is transporting him to, he got a summons, and he's like, I'll answer the summons. He's like, oh, why are you coming out? This is Ultra Ghoul. And Ultra Ghoul is like, I will defeat you. He's like, you can't defeat me while I have the mark of the ring. And he goes, beware my mectoskeletons. What a great name. The mectoskeletons. He's like, oh God. So he summons MegaGhost, and MegaGhost is fighting the mectoskeletons. And there's just too much of them. And he's getting defeated. So now we're getting to, he's getting stabbed in the eye, and he has to swallow his pride and call his sisters. So he uses his magic ring. Please. And she's like, oh my God, we got so the MegaGhost is getting fight by mectoskeletons. I just love all the names. Ultra Ghoul. And what happens? The Familiars show up, and that evens out the tide, and they fight. Look at these just crazy monsters, skeletons. Bad Kitty, they're fighting. He pulls the swords out. He's a separate being, so he controls. He summons and guides MegaGhost, but he's a. Martin Magus is on his own, so he could do other stuff too, and he can cast spells. And I love all this like arcane writing as they're guiding the suits, and they're fighting and fighting and beating and fighting and fighting and fighting. And what do? The girls realize that it's hopeless, so they sacrifice the mech suits, and it just blows up, makes this crater there. It's like, and this one gets away. Don't worry, we'll rebuild our familiar suits, but we saved the town. And he's just like, he's throwing a temper tantrum, foiled again by MegaGhost. He goes, what does he say? He goes, let's sit down and watch the Bobo Bonkers show. He's like, Bobo Bonkers? You gonna sit down and watch clowns at a time like this? We just got defeated. And he's like, Bobo Bonkers. And then next issue, Ultra Ghoul turns the clown, this is like a Howdy Doody or why can't I think of the clown that everybody used to like? Howdy Doody with whatever. And this is Grumble. I totally missed this. I just bought issue number 1 to, so I'll talk about that. And these are other offerings from Albatross books. Hillbilly is wonderful. I don't think I showcased that yet. I really got to showcase Hillbilly. It is amazing. Spook House is okay. Nam Wolf was interesting. It's about a Vietnam vet who turns into a werewolf in the middle of Vietnam. What a great concept. And Galacticon. This was like a sci-fi, kind of like a goof on like a heavy metal and those kind of sci-fi stories, Mobius, and it was really good, really good. And here's the Goon starting over with issue number 1, because he took a long break to create the Liquid Ed Gein Gone Done, which I showcased, which was phenomenal. So that he took that long break and he said, all right, I'm going to start over with the number 1. Phenomenal artist. This guy is funny, and then at the same time he'll break your heart with the emotion. So good. But we're talking about MegaGhost. So this is a 5-issue series. I think you can get it collected. And they said that Volume 2 is going to come out, but it's been 5 years. Come on, Volume 2, where are you? I really, really liked it. I hope my showcase pushes you over the edge like I have any influence. But it was really good, really good. And yes, it is the Saturday morning cartoon that doesn't exist. It's such a good comic. I really like this. I love the blend of like superhero and horror and goofy cartoons. It's perfect. If you got kids, get this for your kids. I enjoy it as an old decrepit old man, and I'm sure kids could like it. So there you go. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow with another video.